What's up, peeps? I'm taking you along for a Thrift with Me excursion. Well, I guess technically Thrift with us. Me and Mr. CCDIY shop into 3 different Goodwill stores in the northeast Phoenix area. Then, in the second half of this video, I'm making over a small wood chair that I picked up at one of the locations. I'm Jen. Welcome to Copper Cactus DIY. I went in looking for 2 things. First, something I can use in staging. Stools, small cabinets, benches, or even, dare I say it, chairs. And the second thing I need is a piece for the Ugly Duckling Challenge coming up on January 30th. It's hosted by Corey over at Desert DIY, and you're not gonna wanna miss it, so go get subscribed below. There were some side tables, a dining table with no chairs, and other somewhat overpriced pieces. Then I spied this small cabinet and table. Upon further inspection though, it was a hard pass. More work than they'd be worth. I couldn't help myself but to tighten this hardware though. Please tell me in the comments if you do this kind of stuff when you go thrifting too. This tall jewelry cabinet was in pretty nice shape, but the price was high for something made from particle board and lacquer, so I passed. Then, as I rounded the corner, I saw it. Quite possibly the ugliest piece in the place. The destruction was clear, but the shape of this piece, it made me take a second look. I've never seen anything like it before. And, under $7? Yes, please. It has damage to the veneer in some small spots, but I know I can turn this around. I sent Matt to get a card. This is my ugly duck piece, and I can't wait to get started. But first, the hunt for staging pieces continues. I saw this chair. Spoiler, hang tight for 2 more stores to see its companion, not another chair. Last was this stool. I gave it a good look, but another hard pass. Again, just too much work. But I felt we were on the right track. We checked out and headed to store 2. This second location is never as good for me with furniture, but I always like to browse anyway. This store usually has some good small staging items like jewelry boxes and vases, stuff like that. I'm just going to take you high speed through our adventures here because I didn't purchase anything at this store, but I want you to get a feel for the different kind of stuff that you can find. At our final stop, we saw all kinds of cool stuff. Nightstands, side tables, desks, and even this wicker thing. Then I kicked myself for not getting the chair in the first store. This sewing machine was a perfect match. Probably just as well. I don't need a sewing machine. Or a workbench. Or legs this ornate. I wanted something simple and understated. So it was on to the chair section. There were some nice ones, but nothing that screamed, "Take me home!" That is, until... That's cute. And it really was. Another unique design I'd never seen before. So I had Matt pull it down and, well... My feet actually hit the ground, which is amazing. Pretty sturdy. That's an easy chair to do, and it's not wobbly, and this would easily come off. I think I want to do that. I know I said no chairs, but I do want a staging chair, and this could be a great one.
And it's $4.
And it's $4. Like, how do I even pass this up? With the chair home, I could give it a better inspection. The paint looked rough, but there were barely any dings to the wood. The only real wear looked to be on the seat fabric, and I plan to remove that anyway. Stick to the end to see what fabric I chose to go with. But I guess that means it's go time!
Feet look like they're good shape. They're still attached. It's attached with hex bolts. I don't know that I have a hex. I don't know that I'm going to need it anyway. This is pretty sturdy. There is a little crack here. Hopefully that doesn't go all the way through. And you can see it was made in Canada. Alright, I mean overall it looks like it's in pretty good shape. I guess just gonna take off the seat and get cleaning. Looks pretty good. You get some markings in here. 1835-98. No, that's not a date. Unless 98 is the date it was created, it's possible. Same marking here. Maybe I'll discover more when I take off the fabric here, but that's later. To clean this chair, I'm going to use a bucket of warm soapy water. This is just Palmolive dish soap. I wear my kitchen gloves to protect my hands, and I'm using a lint-free clean microfiber rag.
I removed all the soap and residue using clean water over the entire piece.
Yep, still pretty gross. I'm gonna let this dry for a few minutes and kind of assess. I may come back and do a second wipe down, but I'm probably just gonna start trying to remove the paint. I tested out my Quinn carbide scraper here just to see, and it is taking off a pretty good amount of the paint. I had a feeling this is like a real thin coat. I don't know what this kind of paint is underneath, but it seems to be coming off slightly too, so I'm just gonna keep at it.
Scrapers are a great investment for a furniture refinisher, especially someone like me who dislikes chemical strippers. They don't always get everything, but it's worth trying to remove latex paint like this. I used it on the flat areas, and after this leg, I only tried to remove the latex top layer. This isn't the highest quality blade, and it dulls fairly quickly, especially on a hard wood like this. I pulled out the Black & Decker detail sander because it has the extension attachment. I was so excited to use that because otherwise I'd have to hand sand every smaller area, not just the corners. And it worked great every single time up until this very moment. In fact, this is the last captured footage of BD's work. After doing these corners, I stopped the camera and BD stopped working. She overheated and the threaded piece holding the screw fell out of the melted plastic. Yup, Unless I replace the platen and the extension finger, she's cooked. So I pulled out the orbital for flat spots. It doesn't get into corners nearly as well, but it does make quick work of the paint. But I knew I needed to think quick because there was no way I wanted to hand sand half of this chair. Luckily, Matt has a Dremel with a flat sandpaper attachment as well as a drum sanding attachment. On the flat spots where it could reach, this tool worked okay. I don't recommend it for lots of work though. The paper clogged pretty quickly with this latex and I went through more discs than I otherwise would have. And it didn't reach into the tighter areas. I needed the night to think that one through. By some twist of furniture fate, I figured it out overnight. I wrapped the 120 grid over the end of my Japan scraper and used that to push the sandpaper behind the spindles. I could put pressure down so that it would actually get the paint that was on the seat part. That worked like a charm. For the other hard to reach areas, I wrapped the paper around a popsicle stick and used that as leverage. That also worked surprisingly well. And since I had 3 grits to get through on this chair, I was pretty grateful for the assist. I'll spare you the full experience of watching all of my hand sanding though. I used 3 grits, like I said, 80, 120, and 220, and this took me 7 hours. Not an exaggeration. Chairs, man, I swear. Nothing is ever easy with chairs. And when they're coated in latex, that gums up paper very quick. I went through a lot. In fact, my fingers are feeling the pain all over again just watching this footage back. But I eventually finished and just had some nagging detail work to do before I could call this done. My scraper has 6 different attachments, including this pointed tip. It sure helped me to satisfy my need for completion. Nary a hint of red paint was left when I finished. Then all I had left was to add a top coat, and this thrifted chair makeover was finally complete. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give it a like and leave me a comment if you have a minute. And don't forget to subscribe and share the video. Anything you do to engage with my channel really helps it to grow, and I'm super appreciative for all of the love. I'd also really like to welcome all of my new subscribers and say thank you again to my old and new subscribers. You're all the best, and my channel is really growing a lot, and I love you all. But that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for being here and watching. Later, peeps!